Okay, hi. So this is my last submission for our Unit 3 project. So I'm hoping that you have a great summer. Um, I was really excited to do this last unit project. I've actually had a lot of fun in this last unit. So I picked for my question, is dam removal an effective method for restoring rivers for native fish? So I live in Wyoming, or I obviously live in Wyoming, but I have been born and raised in Wyoming, and I have a reservoir close to me, Glendo. So this actually really sparked my thinking about that. So I really wanted to learn more about is dam removal an effective method for restoring rivers for native fish? Because I really didn't know that it was an issue, to be honest. So a little bit of background information. So a little bit of background, sorry, I got it. Background information about some fish. So fish populations are highly dependent upon their characteristic of their habitat. So what I was trying to say by that is, because they live in water areas, they're not able to walk or they're not able to fly to where they need to go. They rely directly on swimming. So, fish migration does not only happen in sea waters, it also happens in rivers. So, the fish migration, depends on their traveling upon swimming. So, this problem of the dam issue initially started by the construction of dams. And what dams can do is they can delay or block the upstream of fish migration. And like I said, we all know that fish can't fly or fish can't walk to the destination where they're trying to migrate. So, this problem really sparked a huge issue in our society. So, kind of tying the socially and politically ties into it. So, socially, dams are good for farming of crops. They're good for preventing floods and making potential drinking water in certain areas if they are still to the point where they're able to kind of work effectively. But politically, America is struggling to provide the funds for dams. And I thought this was so interesting. From the start of 2003, America has spent, from the help of China, because we all know that we are in ties with China economically, over $22.1 billion on the construction of dams. And that's by Tom Lavers, 2019. Like I said, that just is crazy how much money has gone into dams and how much it has affected fish migration and fish population because of the migration. So that's a little background information on fish and the dams. So why is this issue important? So, um, for starters, just fish are a part of our natural heritage, our natural life cycle of life. It is important for dams to be removed for their migration and reproduction of native fish because, like I said from the previous slide, they are blocking the upstream of that. Fish are important. Fish are an important factor in the food web as they consume vegetation and smaller animals. And without fish, that food web would not be in a circle of life formation. Fish produce food for wildlife, so it can affect the ecosystem of mountainous animals. And what I meant by that is, as you can tell by this picture over here, bears rely on fish a lot for their diet. So if there was no fish, then there's just going to be more than bears affected. Um, the whole wildlife would be affected as well, which then would reflect on humans. So when fish die, their carcasses are nutrients for plants. So not only does it affect the wildlife and humans, but it also affects plants because they wouldn't be able to get that nutrients. So that's really important that this issue gets resolved because if it doesn't, then it's going to be a really horrible and dramatic effect. So fish are important to humans, just like I said, but they are important for recreational use, such as fishing, boating, and wildlife. viewing because, like I said, if the bear wasn't able to get their nutrients, we wouldn't be able to view wildlife because there would be no bears left. So without fish, humans, wildlife, and plants are all affected negatively because they're not able to get what they need, the nutrients they need, the diet that they need, the recreational use that they need. So that is why this issue is so important. Okay, so the current information is that freshwater fish are continuing to be threatened by dams that connect the pathways to other rivers. And dams and freshwater fish are now considered the most negative disconnected geographic range in the United States. And obviously, that is not a very good title, so that current information is very draining and hard to think about, but it is reality that we are suffering with today. So currently there's 3,700 dams being built. That will just increase habitat fragmentation, like I've been talking about. And it is estimated that right now, 50% of river volume is currently altered by the flow of regulation or under the construction to do so, which if you think about all the rivers in America, that is a lot and that is a very high percentage. So with the 3,700 dams being built, like I talked about, that number will increase to 93%, which is still a very, very high number. 50% is already very high for America, so 93, that is almost, that is critical. And dams are built to need repairs, which will affect everyone socially with the high amount of money that is needed to repair them. So, with taxes or fundraisers, America and their citizens will really suffer from trying to build dams. So dams have a negative effect on global warming, which the trees that once have held carbon dioxide in that area have been removed to make the dam. I thought that was such an interesting topic. I didn't really see the relation between making the creation of dams and global warming. So the trees that are not available in that area anymore to absorb the carbon dioxide produced by the fossil fuels are not there. So the decaying vegetation beneath the dam can then produce global warming because, again, the trees weren't there. So in this picture, I thought it was very interesting because it is a river, but it doesn't show the dam. But I just thought this picture really reflected on showing the vegetation in one area and then what a dam can do to the other, and having vegetation and carbon dioxide not as uh, productable on that side. So one of the biggest methods that can reduce the environmental problem is to block the dams, or what I talked about in this slide is removing dams. So of course you can block the dams or use other methods that aren't as expensive or doesn't take as much time, but removing the dams is the most effective way and really the only effective way in the long run. So removing dams, like I said, is the most effective way for native fish to return to their most natural habitat. And the constructor or constructors usually start at the far side of the dam and then remove stone and concrete by working back towards the river access point. So as you can guess, that this is a very expensive process. Removing dams takes about $24,000 per foot of destruction. That is so insane to me, but like I said, it is effective. So if you're wanting to do this the most effective way and the way that is gonna be the most beneficial in the long run, the money may be worth it to pay off those dues. So fish migration, after reducing the environmental problem, would not be as scarce as it is currently. But going back to the destruction of the dams, it can take up to 2.5, 3 years to remove a dam. So it is a very long and expensive process. And when a dam no longer serves an intended purpose, removing it's provided a chance, or it provides a chance for the river to turn to its natural state where natural systems can work with its natural barriers. And that's from Anonymous No Date. So, additional history or additional information, I found history on dams because I wanted to know how long they have been around or how long have they been affecting America or the world in general. So, most of the dams that are built in America are 50 to 100 years old, which is a very long time. So as they are old in age, most of them are not as useful as they are inefficient generating equipment because they were not built to last that long. So this picture is the Oroville Dam, which is the largest dam in America, and it was constructed in 1961. And because of the Oroville's age, the Oroville Lake in California is mostly dried up from an outburst in the dam in 2007. That is from Jay Behrman in 2021. So, like I said, it's probably, or it is very likely that the outburst happened from its old age. Um, so, I think that making a change to this kind of issue is really important because it is affecting our society and it will continue to affect our society, and the global warming is affected by it as well, and humans and wildlife. And I think that it is very important, and I'm so excited and I'm so grateful that I was able to research this topic because, like I said, I didn't know that much about it. So now that I know, I'm going to do my best in my part to make sure that this issue gets resolved as soon as possible. So, like it is stated, my references are located on another document. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.